What if I told you that saving 40% on groceries isn't about eating less? It's about shopping smarter? I'm Christopher, a political science student at the University of Minnesota, and these 7 rules literally saved my college life. If there's one lesson I wish I had learned sooner as a college student, it's this. The way you shop for food can change your entire financial life. That might sound dramatic, but trust me, I've lived it. When I first started at the University of Minnesota, Twin Cities in Minneapolis, I thought saving money was just about not buying expensive clothes, not eating out too much, and skipping concerts. I didn't realize the real money drain was happening in a place I visited every week, sometimes every day, the supermarket. By my second year, I figured out how to cut my grocery bill by nearly 40%. And it wasn't because I stopped eating or lived on ramen noodles. It was because I created 7 rules for myself, 7 strategies that turned grocery shopping from a nightmare into a game I could win. But before I tell you about those rules, let me share where this lesson came from. Because it was born from struggle, from mistakes, and from one very hungry, very broke version of myself. My name is Christopher, and I'm a political science major at the University of Minnesota. I grew up in a middle-class family in Wisconsin, and I was the first in my family to go to a big university out of state. When I got accepted, I was proud but also terrified, especially about money. The Twin Cities are vibrant, full of culture, but also not cheap. Minneapolis, with its endless winters and surprisingly expensive rent, hit me harder than I expected. My parents helped a little, but most of my tuition was covered by loans and part-time work. I got a job at the campus library shelving books for $12 an hour. And sometimes I did extra shifts at a coffee shop near Dinkytown. Even with that, money was always tight. And where did a lot of it go? Food. Freshman year, I had no system. None. Picture me, walking into Target on a Friday night after class, starving. My stomach growling, my brain foggy, and my eyes wide at all the bright packaging. I'd walk out an hour later with chips, frozen pizzas, soda, healthy protein bars, maybe a rotisserie chicken, and random sauces I thought looked interesting. I didn't have a plan. At the time, I thought I was just surviving. But when I checked my bank account at the end of each month, the numbers told another story. I was spending $300 to $350 a month on groceries, sometimes more. Add in the occasional takeout, and my food budget was spiraling. I'll never forget one night in April. Finals week, I had $27 left in my account, 5 days until payday, and my fridge looked like a barren wasteland. I survived on leftover oatmeal and the generosity of a roommate who lent me peanut butter. That week was a wake-up call. I promised myself, next year will be different. Over the summer, back home in Wisconsin, I started researching. I joined student forums, read articles, even watched YouTube videos about budget grocery shopping. I realized I didn't just need to spend less, I needed rules. Clear, repeatable strategies. So, before sophomore year began, I wrote down 7 rules that I would follow no matter what. And these rules changed everything. Rule 1, make a list. Before you go. This sounds simple, but it was revolutionary for me. Sophomore year, the night before grocery day, I would sit at my desk, pull up my notes app, and make a list. Not a vague buy food list, but a real itemized plan. Bread, eggs, rice, chicken, apples, peanut butter, milk. Why did this matter? Because hunger is the enemy. I remember one day early that fall, I broke my own rule. I walked into Cub Foods after class, tired and starving. I walked out with $70 worth of impulse buys. Gourmet cheese, fancy crackers, ice cream, energy drinks, and a random jar of pickled asparagus I never ate. By the end of the week, I was broke and still didn't have proper meals. After that, I committed. I made my list when I was full, not hungry. I stuck to it in the store. And guess what? My weekly bill dropped from $80 to about $50 just by cutting impulse buys. Lesson: The list is a shield. Without it, the store owns you. With it, you own the store. Rule 2. Compare prices and use apps. Before college, I thought coupons were for moms in the suburbs. But then I discovered apps like Ibotta, Rakuten, and even the Target Circle app. I started scanning barcodes, checking deals, and this blew my mind, actually getting cash back. It felt like cheating, but it was just smart shopping. One weekend, I went shopping with my friend Marcus. He tossed a name-brand cereal box into the cart, $4.79. I pulled out my phone, found the generic version, and showed him it was $2.19. Plus, I had a $0.50 cashback offer. He laughed, but when we checked out, my cart had cost $15 less than his, with almost the same food. After a few months, I noticed I was saving $10 to $20 a week just by using apps and comparing prices. That's $40 to $80 a month. That's a whole textbook paid for by just not being lazy with my phone. Rule 3. Buy store brands. Freshman year, I thought brand names mattered. Coke over store cola, Oreos over generic cookies, Kraft mac and cheese over the store box. Sophomore year, I humbled myself. I tried the Target cola. You know what? It was fine. 70 cents cheaper per bottle. I tried the Walmart peanut butter. Honestly, pretty much the same. I turned it into a game. Every time I bought a store brand instead of a name brand, I calculated how much I saved. It was usually between 20% and 40%. My favorite example, cheese. Minnesota loves cheese, but brand name shredded cheese was $3.79 a bag. The store brand, $2.19. I was buying 1 or 2 bags a week. Over a semester, that one switch saved me almost $60. Lesson: brand loyalty is expensive. Hunger doesn't care about logos. Rule 4. Shop late in the day. Here's something I learned by accident. One Thursday night after a long library shift, I went to the grocery store around 9:30 p.m. I noticed the bakery section was full of manager's special stickers. Bread for $0.99, muffins for half price, even meat with discounts because it had to be sold that day. From then on, I started timing my trips. If I went within an hour of closing, the deals were everywhere. Chicken thighs for $3 a pack instead of $6. Loaves of bread marked down 70%. One night, I scored a whole rotisserie chicken for $2.49. That chicken fed me for 3 days. Shopping late felt like being a treasure hunter. Sometimes I didn't find much, but when I did, it was gold. Over a semester, I saved hundreds of dollars just by adjusting the clock. Rule 5. Buy in bulk and share. At first, I thought buying in bulk was impossible. Where would I store a 20-pound bag of rice in my tiny dorm? But then I realized, friends. My roommate Eric was also broke. We made a pact. Once a month, we'd go to Costco together, split a big bag of rice, a family pack of chicken, and a jumbo box of oatmeal. We'd Venmo each other, store everything in the freezer, and share the bounty. Buying that way slashed costs. A pound of rice at Target was $1.99. At Costco, it was about $0.50 per pound. Chicken breasts were half the price in bulk. We turned it into a ritual. Bulk Sunday. We'd borrow his cousin's car, drive out, and come back with a trunk full of food. It wasn't just saving money, it built friendship. We bonded over dividing chicken packs like it was some sacred ceremony. Lesson: community makes you rich even when your bank account is poor. Rule 6. Embrace free samples. Now this might sound like a joke, but it's not. Costco samples saved me more than once. There were weeks when money was so tight I debated skipping meals. Instead, I'd go with Eric or Marcus to Costco on a Saturday, walk the aisles, and casually enjoy the free samples. Pizza bites, cheese cubes, dumplings, cookies. We joked about having lunch at Costco, but sometimes it really was lunch. It wasn't glamorous, but it was survival. And honestly, sometimes it was fun. We'd laugh about who could get seconds without looking suspicious. It taught me something important. There's no shame in being resourceful. Everyone's hustling in their own way. Rule 7. Don't shop hungry or stressed. This last rule might be the most important. I noticed a pattern. Whenever I shopped while hungry or stressed, I made bad choices. Stressed about exams, I bought chips, soda, and ice cream. Hungry after class? I bought ready-made meals that cost double what cooking would. So I made a rule. Eat a snack before shopping. Go when I felt calm. One night, I broke this rule. I had just bombed a midterm in political theory. I stormed into Target and spent $45 on snacks I didn't need. The next morning, I woke up, looked at my purchases, and realized I had literally eaten my feelings with money I didn't have. That was the last time. After that, I shopped with discipline. By sticking to these 7 rules, I cut my grocery bill from $300+ a month to about $180–200. That's a 40% savings. More than that, I felt in control. For the first time in college, money didn't feel like quicksand. I wasn't rich, but I wasn't panicking. I had systems. I had habits. And honestly, I learned more from those grocery trips than from some of my classes. Political science taught me about systems of power, but grocery shopping taught me about personal power, about how discipline, creativity, and community can change your life. If you're a student struggling with money, here's my advice. Start with groceries. You can't control tuition. You can't control rent. But you can control how you shop. Follow these rules. Make a list. Use apps. Buy store brands. Shop late. Buy in bulk and share. Embrace free samples. Don't shop hungry or stressed. Try it for a month. Watch your bank account breathe easier. Watch your stress lighten. I'm Christopher, a political science major at the University of Minnesota. And if I can survive college with a little creativity and a lot of discipline, so can you. Remember, it's not about being cheap, it's about being smart. And sometimes smart shopping is the first step to financial freedom. Saving money in college isn't easy, but we're all in this together. Like, share, and subscribe to keep this community growing. And comment below, what's the biggest grocery mistake you've ever made? Let's laugh and learn together.